I was born in Chesterton. I'm proud of that. And I've enjoyed living in the Potteries all my life. The only time that I moved out was when I got married for 3 years and lived at Haslington. But my late wife and I taught in Newcastle. And I remember my father saying, why on earth are you buying a house in Haslington? I said, it's £50 cheaper. Now you probably say £50. This is 1965. £50 was a lot of money in 1965. But he turns around to me quite rightly and said, do you realise that with teaching at Seabridge, you'll be paying £50 a year in petrol money to come in? I thought, fair point. But for that 3 years, I've lived within the area. I lived in Chesterton when I was married, and I've lived on the Westlands now for some 30 odd years. I like the area, I love the area. The people are probably some of the most friendly people that you could wish to meet. And people who come here, when you think of sporting people, one of the best examples probably is Terry Honorary, who came over from the Emerald Isle in 1967 and is still here. You couldn't kick him out. He wants to stay. Gordon Banks, who came here and could easily have gone back to Leicester, didn't, wanted to stay here. Honorary degree person here at Keele. When people come to the Potteries, they feel a lovely empathy coming from the people. I mean, it can't happen now, but when I was a lad, people used to leave their doors open and they'd gone out because they knew it was safe to do so. Tap on your door. What's the matter? Can I have a cup of milk? Is it possible to have a cup of milk? No problem, a cup of milk. People are bonded, and people will always say, people of the Potteries are salt of the earth. They're lovely people, they're helpful people, they embrace you. And I've thoroughly enjoyed living in the Potteries, and I've been lucky enough to come back and teach here as well as live here. And as far as Keele is concerned, I've watched Keele grow from Nissen huts to this magnificent campus that is here today. And I was, in the 90s, I was a member of the court. For about 9 years, I came on representing education. And to be able to sit there, Brian Fender, I think, was the Vice-Chancellor when I came on, and then it was Janet Finch. And then I left in the late 90s, just before Janet Finch finished. And it was lovely to come and to feel a part, and to be a part of Keele, only in a very minor way, but to be representing education on the university court was something I thoroughly enjoyed. And this university is growing in stature. I mean, I think I'm right, it's 13th in the pecking order at the moment, which is no mean achievement when you think that other universities not a million miles away are well in the 80s, which proves a point. And I think that Keele has got a lot to offer and will have a lot to offer over the years, and it will also move up from its position of 13th as well. It'll get in the top 10. I'm confident of that. Well, yes, I do know Neil, and Neil was here today, and I spent some time talking to him. And I said, well, when Keele kindly offered me this degree, I realised I was about to walk in very, very big footsteps, as you'd had it last year, Neil. Neil Baldwin is a very, very nice chap. He wouldn't do anybody any harm. And this university has meant a lot in Neil Baldwin's life. In fact, I go as far as to say that if Neil Baldwin hadn't had Keele University, he wouldn't be the man he is today. And I'm sure he appreciates Keele University and what Keele has embraced him with. And he's reciprocated on that. He loves it. He loves Keele. I remember Old Trafford, League Cup. Stoke were 2-1 in front, having won at the Victoria Ground. And Lou Macari said, if Stoke win tonight in the second leg at Old Trafford, every Stoke fan can have fish and chips at Macari's chip shop by the ground. It was probably the safest bet that Lou had ever put down, and Lou likes a flutter now and again. I was quite smiling because I thought this could cost the Macquarie a packet, this, if things go the right way. Well, unfortunately they didn't. I think Stoke lost 2-0. But after the game, I was waiting in the press room for Lou to come in. He did. But he brought in Neil Baldwin, dressed in full Highland garb. And I looked, I thought, what's all this about? And he sits him down. Lou's still standing up. And all the press were gathered. And he said, ladies and gentlemen, he said, I'm not going to do the press conference tonight. Not that I'm disappointed that Stoke are out of the competition, but I'm going to leave it to Mr. Baldwin. He will be taking the press conference tonight. At which point, Lou Macquarie turns on his heel and walks out. And there's Nello sitting at the front with the little microphones coming up to him. And he said, right, has anybody got any questions to ask me? Well, of course, these national journalists. Just tell them, who are you? Who are you? He said, you've been told, man, he's just told you, I'm Mr. Neil Baldwin. Yes, but what are you? He says, well, I've come as Mr. Macquarie's representative for the press conference. Well, what have we got to ask you? Are you going to talk to us about it? He says, I'm quite prepared to answer any of your questions. At which point Lou comes back into the room. He says, everything all right? Well, no. We want you in here, not him. He says, well, Mr. Baldwin has very kindly offered to do it. He said, but I do accept what you're saying. He said, Neil, thank you very much. You can go and get changed now. So Neil Baldwin goes out and Lou Macquarie took over the press conference. Lou Macquarie, wicked sense of humour, because Neil Baldwin helped him take a lot of sting out of some very difficult situations in the dressing room. Because he was a clown in the past, and in the nicest possible way, his clowning habits helped to take away a lot of tension on occasions. And Lou Macquarie used that to the advantage of himself and the team. And he thought a great deal of Nello. Joe Jordan carried on with him when Lou went up to Celtic. But then I think pressure came to bear and Joe Jordan said, Lou, I'm sorry, and we'll have to get a change of kit man, and Neil had to leave and he didn't come back. Which he did come back when Lou came, but when Lou finished, that was it, which was a pity in a way because Nello enjoyed it. But Nello was definitely a talisman for Stoke, not just a kit man, he was a talisman as well. And I've got a lot of time for Neil Baldwin. He's a very, very nice person. It's been very humbling because I never expected it. The last thing I would have expected, when I got a telephone call last November to say would I accept an honorary degree, the telephone line went silent for a good 10-15 seconds because I was lost for words. I mean, I didn't take long to say yes, thank you very much. But it does mean a great deal because it's something that I've never thought I would ever be considered for. And suddenly to find that there are people out there, as you've rightly said a short while ago, that are very supportive of me. Well, I'm very grateful to those people who nominated me to give me this opportunity because I have to be very grateful to them. Very grateful as well to the colleagues I've had at Radio Stoke over 45 years, colleagues in the teaching profession, because the intertwining with them over all this period of time has obviously been a help to me and has helped me to do what I've been able to do. Without their support, perhaps I wouldn't have been able to have attained what I've attained. So I'm very, very grateful to them. And very grateful to Keele. I say thank you so much for giving me the honour that they bestowed on me today.